Hi, subscribers. It is me, Ava, obviously. Duh. Hi. And it's August 6th. It's Tuesday, August 6th, but more importantly, it is August 6th. And something very special is happening this whole week. That's a hint. I have waited all year for this. I'm more excited for this than I was when I graduated high school, and I was when I got accepted to the college I'm going to, and I'm more excited for this than I was for losing my virginity. Sorry, Joel, I love you. It's been going on for 26 years now. You heard me, since 1987. And ladies and gentlemen, you probably guessed this. It's Shark Week! Look at my armpits. Sorry, I just like, yeah, armpits, woo! Oh, I didn't even shave last night. Okay, don't look at my armpits. They're hairy. It's Shark Week. And for those of you who don't know, for some reason, Shark Week on the Discovery Channel is a week a year. And it's all sharks. Sharks. Obviously, it's about sharks. This year is really great so far. It's only been 2 days of Shark Week, and starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you live in another time zone, figure that out for yourself. There will be 2 new Shark Week shows. They only do 2 new ones per evening per year because it would be really hard to come up with a whole day full of new stuff. And then the rest of the day is just reruns of old Shark Week stuff. And this year they've got a live chat show called Shark After Dark, which I could take or leave, and it's been great so far. So I wrote down a list of shark facts I want to talk about. Good luck seeing that. And so for Shark Week, I'm going to pebble you with shark facts. Oh, I should have pebbles to throw at the camera. That would have been a great visual pun. Puns. There will be a lot more puns on this show. So here are some nice fin shark facts. It's so fun. That was bad. I'll do better. I promise. I will. First on the docket, some stuff about great whites, which are my personal favorite kind of shark. They're incredible. A lot of things. Great whites, no one has ever seen one mate or give birth. They've seen pregnant great whites, and they performed ultrasounds, which is how they know that they give live births to live pups. Kind of like people, except, sharks. But no one's ever seen where they give birth and how they mate, although they're assuming it's pretty violent because most sharks mating it's a violent process. And great whites have actually been recorded diving up to 3,000-ish feet. That's more than a mile under the surface, and they deal with the cold down there because it is very cold at the bottom of the ocean, obviously. And they deal with it because they're warm-bodied. That's different than being warm-blooded, by the way. There's a little difference, but there's a difference. Fish in general, which great white sharks, and all sharks are fish, in general are cold-blooded. But great whites, and this is really quite stunning, their bodies, their muscle movement warms up this intricate network of blood vessels that they have in their bodies. And the muscle movement, because they're ram ventilation oxygenators, which means if they stop moving, they can't breathe. They get oxygen by swimming, and it shoves it through and into their gills, and they filter out the oxygen. Anyway, they're always moving. And this only really works because they're so massive. I mean, these are huge sharks. And so that it warms up their blood, and they're able to regulate their body temperatures up to 57 degrees warmer than the water surrounding them, which is how they can dive that deep and not freeze to death. Also, great white sharks are the largest predatory fish in the ocean. They're not the largest fish in the ocean. I mean, there's whale sharks and basking sharks, but they're not really predatory. They're kind of filter feeders-ish. Anyway, great white sharks, the largest was 23 feet. That is huge. That is bigger, longer than the room I'm recording this video in. I am 5'8", so that fish is, oh, man, it's a little more than 3 of me is the length of that fish, let alone the weight, because that thing is solid muscle. I mean, huge. They can weigh up to 2 tons. They're big. They're just huge. And when you see them on TV, you don't really appreciate how big these sharks are, but they are enormous. They're these huge sharks, which makes the spectacular breaches they do all the more impressive. Because, I mean, there's a huge-ass shark just leaping all the way out of the water. Sometimes it's mind-blowing. If you have not ever seen a great white breach, when you're done watching this video, you go and you watch that. You watch that. It's magnificent. Alright, spent way too long talking about that. I might not get to some of the other stuff. Alright, great whites. Bull sharks. That's the one shark you cannot get me into the water with. Without a cage and chainmail and maybe a smaller cage. Just kidding, I'm not that. But they're aggressive. They have the highest testosterone level of anything in the animal kingdom. And they're not small sharks. They're, normal size. They're not huge like a great white or a tiger shark, but they're not tiny either. They're pretty aggressive. They've got lots of teeth, and they can go into freshwater. They've been found 2,500, that's 2500, 2,500 miles up the Nile River. Like, am I pretending I have a map here? So, I mean, they hunt in murky waters, which is why attacks on humans are so common there, because they can't really see. They're relying on their other senses, which, nice segue into my next thing, the ampullae of Lorenzini. Now, if you look at a picture of a shark close up its nose, you'll see all these little black dots on it. Those are the ampullae of Lorenzini, and those detect electrical things. They can detect the heartbeat of a fish. They can detect your heartbeat. They can detect electronics, which is why it's not so great to have electronics in the water if you don't want a shark to come near you, because they sense the electricity from that and they want to go check it out because they don't know if it's food or not. They don't know what it is. So you can't hide from a shark. It can always find you because it can feel your heart beating. That's amazing. The other sense that sharks have that people don't are their lateral lines, which I think are on other fish too. It's not just sharks, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I should have checked that out before I started making this video, but I didn't. I'm sorry. That wasn't very scientific of me. Anyway, their lateral line, it runs down the length of their body, and they feel movement in the water with it, like that of an injured fish, or an injured seal, or a swimmer, or, whatever. That's neat, too. Sorry, I'm checking these off as I go. Oh, okay. Megalodon, ? So the first Shark Week thing was called Megalodon. The monster shark lives? Don't remember the second bit of that as well. But this man thinks he has, in fact, found proof of a living Megalodon, which for a species that is thought, which is impressive, because for a species that was thought to go out of existence, extinct, oh, I forgot the word extinct, I'm sorry guys, that went extinct 2 million years ago, or 10,000. They found a tooth that has been carbon dated at 10,000 years, but there's a little controversy surrounding it. Although I'm sure they just tested the fuck out of that thing. You'd have to. Anyway, he thinks there is a living Megalodon, and that it attacked a boat, mistook a boat for a whale and attacked it, and has been attacking whales off of South Africa, and is like 60 feet long, which is about how long we think Megalodons were. We're not sure, though, because all we've ever found are their teeth, which are about yay big. Oh, yay big. Either way, these were enormous sharks. From their teeth are very similar to the great whites, so when you're picturing a megalodon, picture a 60-foot great white shark. Yeah, that's damn terrifying. It ate whales primarily, and they think it went extinct during an ice age because its metabolism would have risen and it just couldn't have eaten enough to keep itself alive, the megalodons. But this guy thinks that a small population survived and that recent natural disasters and whale migrations have allowed it to resurface as a species. Although I'm still skeptical. There was no definitive proof that there's a megalodon running around. And the general consensus of the scientific community is that there are no more megalodons. Although the show did provide some very compelling evidence that there is a large predator running about. So that's a little terrifying. This is a lot terrifying, actually. So that's my megalodon fact. What else do I have? Frilled sharks are on here. Frilled sharks are thought to be pregnant for 42 months, although we don't know for sure. But that is one hell of a long gestation period. And if it is 42 months, it's the longest gestation period of any animal ever. So, I can't imagine being pregnant for that long. Ugh. So, there you go. Shark facts. I'm sure I could think of more. But this video is 11 and almost 12 minutes long, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing me babble about how fucking awesome sharks are. So I'm going to leave you with a shark conservation message because it's necessary. Guys, I know you've heard me babble on about shark finning before, but it is still a huge problem. Even in the United States, where it is illegal, we import shark fin soup, and that soup has the fins of endangered species, great whites, great hammerheads, any hammerhead, bonnethead sharks, anything. Those species are endangered, and they're going extinct, and they're gonna go extinct if sharks do not become an internationally protected species. I mean, their numbers are plummeting. For example, there are only 220 California great whites, and I know there are more great whites in South Africa and in Australia, and they migrate, so we don't really know. But that's still such a small number. And those sharks don't stay in protected waters. They're sharks. They're doing what they've been doing for 400 million years. Do you understand? That timescale is impossible to understand. Almost. It's mind-blowing how long sharks have been around and how quickly they're going extinct because one young, reckless species, Homo sapien, us, has decided that its fins, which don't taste good. Their fins are rubbery and tasteless, and the soup is expensive, and that's why. Because one culture thinks it's a sign of wealth, and they'll pay exorbitant amounts of money for shark fin. And sharks are going extinct. And we need to step in and do something. We do. We need to step in and we need to save the sharks. I know I say that at the end of every video and you're probably tired of hearing, but it's true. It's up to us. It's our responsibility to stop the rest of our species from killing off sharks. They're not going to survive much longer if we don't do something. And stuff is being done. There are shark sanctuaries all over the world. But sharks are migratory. Sharks don't tend to stay in one spot. And the second they leave protected waters, which poaching is a huge problem even in protected waters, they're getting slaughtered in there. Can you imagine what it's like outside of there where it's a free-for-all, where any shark can be caught and finned and there are no repercussions because it's international waters and there are no laws stopping it. And there need to be laws stopping it. We need to stop shark finning. We do. I don't care if it's the Chinese culture. Respect for a culture stops when lives are on the line. And hundreds of millions of lives, albeit not human lives, are on the line here. A species older than the dinosaurs is on the line. And this needs to stop. And we need to stop it. Do whatever you can. Donate money to Sharkwater. Tell people about shark finning. Spread the word and save the sharks. I'll see you next Tuesday.